Starting July 15, 2021, submission of negative COVID-19 PCR test result to enter South Korea is now required for all nationals, whether South Korean nationals or foreign nationals. Failure to submit negative COVID-19 PCR test result will result in denial of boarding at your airport of origin prior to Korea. The following are exempted: infants and children under the age of 6 as of entry date, meaning the child is exempted if his or her 6th birthday is not on the same date of arrival to South Korea. Airline crews are exempted, and this rule may still change in the future. Korean nationals with quarantine exemption certificate issued for a humanitarian reason, example attending a funeral, are also exempted. Buti pa sa South Korea may ganitong mga exemptions on humanitarian reason. Proof of a negative COVID-19 test (PCR) must be presented to the airline personnel when the foreign passenger boards an aircraft. Boarding will not be permitted for foreign passengers without a negative COVID-19 test result issued within 72 hours. The test result should be submitted to the quarantine authorities upon their arrival in the Republic of South Korea. If the passenger received the test result by email, he or she is required to print it and present it to the airline personnel and quarantine authorities in hard copy. The test result issued from the testing organization agency at the country of departure must be in English or Korean. If the result cannot be issued in English or Korean, supplemental translated certificates certifying the translation can be submitted along with the PCR test result. The test result certificate should include information such as the name of traveler as per passport, passport number or date of birth, name of test taken, test result, date of application or the test date, date of issuance of the test result, seal, stamp or sign of the issuing authority. Now let's go to transit via Korea. Number 1, passengers that has only one transit and that transit is only in Korea, and if the passenger will not clear the immigration, that means technically not entering Korea, are not required to provide a negative COVID-19 PCR test result. However, if the passenger's flight itinerary involves multiple transits or stops before entering Korea, an RT-PCR test is required. Passengers who travel from country A and transit in country B before arriving in Korea are required to provide a negative COVID-19 PCR test result. Now, where should you get the RT-PCR test result? If you did not clear the immigration on any of your stops, then you should get it at your country of origin. If you cleared the immigration on any of your stops, then you must get an RT-PCR test result on that last country prior to your entry to Korea. Example, if you are flying from Canada, then stopping at the USA, then transiting to Korea, if you did not clear the immigration in the USA, your RT-PCR must be issued in Canada, your country of origin. Example number 2, if you are flying from Dubai, then stopping at Doha, Qatar, maybe to spend 14 days there so you could come home to the Philippines because of the Philippine travel ban on UAE, then you will have a final transit in Korea before you go before your flight back to the Philippines. Then in this case, you must get an RT-PCR test in Doha, Qatar before departing for Korea. Upang maging updated sa mga pabago-bagong mga protocol sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo kung saan naroroon ang mga Pilipino, mag-subscribe sa aming channel. I-click ang notification bell para ma-notify sa mga bagong uploads patungkol sa pinakabagong mga balita sa ating mga biyahe pauwi at paalis ng Pilipinas.